SHA 2.1, you don't need more, you need the right approach. It's not about resources, it's about resourcefulness. Tony Robbins. There's a common myth holding countless people back, keeping them stuck in hesitation, frustration, and eventually resignation. They believe they're not ready to begin. Not enough money, not enough skills, not enough time, not enough connections. And so they stay still. But the truth is, no one starts with enough. The successful people you admire, entrepreneurs, artists, athletes, scientists, they all began without plenty. What made them different wasn't how much they had, but how well they used what they had. The starter mindset. It's not about what you have, it's how you use it. Tony Robbins once said something deeply powerful. It's not about resources, it's about resourcefulness. We often underestimate ourselves because we overestimate what we lack. I don't have capital, so I can't start a business. I'm not tech savvy, so I can't learn new skills. I'm too busy, so I can't work on myself. I'm just ordinary. How could I ever change my life? But look around. There are people who started with far less and created something remarkable. A girl in a rural village studied by candlelight and became a doctor. A young man without a college degree built $1 million business using only the internet. A man born without arms writes books, paints portraits, and inspires millions across the world. They didn't have more than you. They simply saw differently. Poor versus rich. Thinking it's not in the wallet, it's in the mind. There's a massive difference between two kinds of people. One waits for perfect conditions before beginning. The other takes action with what they have and uses it to build momentum. The first constantly feels lacking. If I had gourd, then I would. The second constantly looks for possibility. What do I already have? What can I do right now? That's the mindset of resourcefulness, a creative, bold, and resilient spirit that turns anything into an opportunity. It's a mental muscle every successful person develops, and you can develop it too. Lessons from those who didn't wait for enough. Walt Disney, rejected over 300 times while pitching Disneyland. He didn't wait for funding to dream. He dreamed first, pitched relentlessly, and then built a magical world. Nick Vujicic, born without arms and legs, yet became a world-renowned speaker. Not because he had a perfect body, but because he had an unlimited mind. Elon Musk, when SpaceX faced rocket failures and bankruptcy, he didn't give up. He reinvested everything, lived simply, and focused on solving the problem, down to the dollar. He didn't have unlimited funds, but he had endless courage and creativity. You're sitting on a gold mine without knowing it. Here's the paradox. Many people have so much, yet do so little. They hold advanced degrees, strong networks, supportive families, but play small, stuck in fear. While others, with no clear advantage, squeeze greatness out of every ounce of what they have. So pause and look at yourself. You have time, even just 30 minutes a day. Are you using it to learn or to scroll endlessly? You have the internet. Are you leveraging it to grow, connect, and create? You have a healthy body. Are you nurturing it so you can go the distance? You have your own story. Are you sharing it, writing it, using it to inspire and serve others? You're not lacking anything if you're willing to truly see what's in your hands. How to shift your life with a resourceful mindset. 1. Start with the question, what do I have right now? Don't ask, what am I missing? Ask, what's already in my hands? Maybe it's a simple skill, an old phone, a quiet corner of your room, or an untested idea. That's your starting point. 2. Treat every limitation as a creative challenge, not a blockade. Instead of saying, I don't have time, ask, how can I make these 30 minutes count? Instead of saying, I don't have money, ask, where can I start for free? 3. Turn everything into leverage. No money for ads? Write better content and share it organically. No advanced skills? Learn from free online resources, YouTube, Coursera, Udemy. No team or help? Start solo. Multitask. Build slowly. 4. Take action, even before you feel ready. No song was ever written by waiting for the perfect note. No vibrant life began from waiting for the perfect moment. Action, however small, is the only way to turn your raw materials into real results. In the end, you don't need more. You just need to begin. You don't need more resources. You need the right perspective. You don't need to wait until you're ready. You need to move forward even when you're not. Because the truth is, you'll never feel completely ready before starting. But as you take steps, you'll realize you're more than ready than you ever thought. Life doesn't reward those who have the most. It rewards those who use what they have with creativity, consistency, and courage. You already have more than enough to begin. The only question is, are you willing to use it like it's all you'll ever need? Hack 2.2, the real gap is not resources but responsibility. We live in a world obsessed with the idea of more. More knowledge, more tools, more opportunities, more support. And while having more can help, it's not what ultimately determines success. What truly sets people apart isn't what they have, it's what they take ownership of. Most people believe the reason they're stuck is because they don't have enough. But in truth, the real reason is often because they haven't yet taken full responsibility for what they already do have. Let's be clear. The greatest gap in life is not between the rich and the poor, the talented and the average, the lucky and the unlucky. It's between those who take responsibility and those who avoid it. Responsibility is power in disguise. Responsibility is often misunderstood. We think it means burden, blame, or obligation. But in reality, responsibility is freedom. It's the starting point of personal power. When you blame your circumstances, your boss, your past, or your lack of resources, you give away your power. But when you say, "This is on me," something shifts. You move from being a victim to being the author of your story. You stop waiting for change and start becoming the change agent. Responsibility doesn't guarantee success, but it guarantees progress, because the moment you own your life, you regain the ability to shape it. People don't succeed because life is fair. They succeed because they refuse to be passive. Let's face it, life isn't fair. Some people are born into privilege. Some inherit wealth or status. Some get lucky breaks, others don't. But here's the truth you won't hear often. Success doesn't require fairness. It requires focus and full ownership. There are people who had every advantage and wasted it, and people who had nothing, but showed up every day, took charge, and rose beyond expectation. What matters most is not how the cards are dealt, but how you play your hand. The moment you stop saying, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can I do with what I have?" you become unstoppable. The shift from excuses to ownership changes everything. Excuses are comforting. They give you a reason to delay, a way to avoid pain, a justification for doing nothing, but they come at a cost, your potential. I don't have time. I wasn't born talented. It's not the right season. I don't know the right people. These sound reasonable, but they're walls you build around your own greatness. Taking responsibility doesn't mean pretending it's easy. It means saying, "Yes, this is hard, but I'm still responsible for how I respond." You can't control every event in life, but you can control your response to them. And in that response lies your real power. Responsibility doesn't wait for permission. The people who create change, whether in business, art, science, or social progress, don't wait for someone to choose them. They choose themselves. They don't need approval before they take action. They don't need perfect conditions before they take the first step. They don't wait to feel ready before they show up. Taking responsibility means stepping into the arena before you're qualified. It means risking failure in order to learn. It means being willing to say, "If not me, then who?" Every great creator, leader, and innovator began with that decision. Responsibility is the bridge from potential to reality. Everyone has potential, but potential is only a possibility. It's not a result. What turns possibility into progress is responsibility. There are brilliant people stuck in mediocrity, not because they're not capable, but because they won't take ownership. They wait for motivation instead of building discipline. They wait for permission instead of initiating. They wait for things to feel perfect instead of acting with clarity. The gap between "I could" and "I did" is responsibility. No one is coming to save you. And that's good news. There's a painful truth that once accepted becomes incredibly liberating. No one is coming to rescue you. No one is going to do the work for you. No one can live your dream except you. But here's the gift. That means you don't have to wait for anyone. You already have the pen in your hand, You already have the canvas, you are the artist, you are the builder, you are the leader of your own life. And that's the best news of all, because it means your future isn't dependent on chance. It's built day by day through your decisions and your responsibility. Take ownership of these 5 things and everything changes. 1. Take ownership of your time. Stop saying, I don't have time. Start asking, where is my time going and how can I reclaim it? Track it, prioritize it, protect it. Time is your most non-renewable asset. 2. Take ownership of your energy. Are you fueling your body, mind, and emotions or draining them? You can't lead, build, or grow from burnout. Rest is not laziness, it's strategy. 3. Take ownership of your habits. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. What you do daily matters more than what you hope for occasionally. 4. Take ownership of your finances. Even if you're not rich, even if you're in debt, start with what you have. Learn to manage it well. Don't let money happen to you. Make it work for you. 5. Take ownership of your emotions. You can't always control how you feel, but you can always choose how you respond. Blame leads to bitterness. Ownership leads to growth. Responsibility is not a burden. It's the beginning of freedom. At first, responsibility feels heavy, but over time, it becomes empowering. When you stop blaming, you stop waiting. When you stop waiting, you start building. And when you start building, momentum takes over. Your life begins to shift, not because the world changes, but because you did. In the end, the most powerful person is the one who takes responsibility. You don't need more luck, more talent, or more help. You need a deeper commitment to take full ownership of your choices. That's how lives are changed. That's how legacies are built. That's how dreams become real. So ask yourself, not someday, but now, what am I avoiding responsibility for? What am I blaming others for that I could begin changing today? What would shift if I stopped waiting and started owning? Final note, the life you want won't come from what the world gives you. It will come from what you take responsibility for. Start today with exactly what you have, exactly where you are. 2.3, consistency beats intensity, the power of showing up daily. In a world addicted to drama, speed, and instant gratification, we often glorify intensity, those grand moments of effort, passion, or breakthrough. We celebrate the all-nighters, the viral hits, the emotional speeches, the 30-day challenges. But while intensity makes noise, it's consistency that builds legacy. Success isn't about how hard you can work once, it's about how steadily you can show up again and again, day by day, brick by brick, moment by moment. The most extraordinary lives are not built through bursts of inspiration. They're built through disciplined daily effort, the kind that most people overlook because it doesn't feel exciting enough. Intensity creates moments. Consistency creates mastery. Think of the gym. Anyone can go once and work out until they're sore, but if they don't return, nothing changes. Now think of someone who works out 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week for a year. That person transforms, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. That's the quiet magic of consistency. It compounds, it multiplies, it strengthens you, one invisible layer at a time. Intensity is the match. Consistency is the fire that stays lit. Greatness is boring before it's brilliant. People want the highlight reel, the breakthroughs, the awards, the applause. But what they don't see is the years of repetition behind every moment of greatness. The pianist who plays with soul has practiced scales for thousands of hours. The writer who moves readers has written thousands of unseen pages. The entrepreneur who builds a company has faced thousands of silent battles. Emails, setbacks, budget spreadsheets, late-night doubts. The world applauds the visible success, but the invisible consistency is what earned it. Consistency isn't just doing things, it's becoming someone. Every time you show up when it's hard, you prove something to yourself. You are reliable, you are disciplined, you keep your word. That creates an identity shift. You no longer try to do the work, you become someone who does the work. That's why consistent action isn't just about habits, it's about who you're becoming in the process. Show up to write every morning, you're becoming a writer. Show up to train every evening, you're becoming an athlete. Show up to serve, give, or lead every day, you're becoming someone who changes lives. Consistency is the real confidence builder. Many people wait until they feel confident before they take action. But confidence isn't what starts action, it's what comes from action. Every day you honor your commitment, even when motivation disappears, you build self-trust, and that trust becomes unshakable confidence. Not the kind based on ego or image, but the deep, quiet kind that says, I know who I am because I've seen what I can do day after day. How to train the muscle of consistency. So how do you become more consistent? Not just for a few days, but for life. Here are 5 timeless principles. 1. Lower the bar, but raise the standard. The biggest mistake people make is trying to do too much too fast. They go all in for a week, then crash, then quit. Instead, shrink the habit. Want to write a book? Start with 1 sentence a day. Want to get fit? Begin with 10 push-ups. Want to meditate? Try 2 minutes. Why? Because the goal isn't to crush the habit, it's to make it automatic. Success isn't about perfection. Instead, it's about momentum. 2. Track it, because what gets measured improves. Use a journal, a habit tracker, or even just a check mark on your calendar. The point isn't to obsess, it's to stay aware. When you can see your streak, your brain wants to protect it. It becomes a game, a challenge to keep the chain going. Even one missed day becomes intentional, not accidental. 3. Make it non-negotiable, not optional. If you only act when you feel like it, you'll rarely act at all. But if you treat your practice like brushing your teeth, daily, automatic, non-negotiable, it becomes part of your identity. Create sacred space in your day. A time and place where you show up, no questions asked, because if you leave it to chance, life will always find a way to interrupt you. 4. Forgive fast and restart even faster. You'll mess up, you'll miss days, you'll fall short. That's not failure, it's humanity. The key is not to let one off day become a 3-week slide. Don't shame yourself, don't start over, just return to the process. Progress isn't about never falling, it's about rising faster every time you do. 5. Remember your why every day. Consistency without meaning becomes mechanical, but when you remember why you started, you fuel the fire. Maybe it's for your family, your future, your freedom. Maybe it's to prove to yourself that you are capable of changing. Whatever your reason is, write it down. Speak it out. Keep it close when the days feel long and the progress feels slow, because consistency isn't always fun, but it's always worth it. The compounding power of tiny actions. Let's do some math. If you improve just 1% every day, you won't see much change in a week, but in a year, you'll be 37 times better than when you started. 1.01365 proved your 37.78. That's the compound effect at work. Consistency doesn't add, it multiplies. And the earlier you begin, the more powerful it becomes. Consistency is a love story between you and your potential. When you show up day after day, you're not just checking a box. You're whispering to your dream. I haven't forgotten you. I still believe in you. I'm still here, even when the world doesn't see you, even when the results are slow, even when your own doubt is loud. You keep showing up, and over time, that daily devotion becomes undeniable progress. In the end, the most successful people are not the most talented, but the most consistent. They're not the loudest. They're not the fastest. They're not the ones with the most resources or perfect routines. They're the ones who kept going on the days when no one was watching. They made a promise to themselves and honored it over and over again. So ask yourself today, what would happen if I just showed up every day? What would change in 1 year if I committed, even imperfectly? What could I become, not by trying harder, but by staying longer? In the end, greatness isn't a moment, it's a rhythm. Find yours, keep the beat, and let the music of your consistency shape the masterpiece of your life. Hat 2.4, direction over speed. Why where you're going matters more than how fast you get there. We live in a fast-paced world where hustle is glorified, speed is worshipped, and more faster now is the battle cry of the modern achiever. But beneath the surface of all this urgency lies a quiet truth. Going fast in the wrong direction doesn't get you to the right place. Progress without purpose is motion without meaning. You can be productive and still lost. You can be moving and still stuck. You can be efficient and still end up unfulfilled. Because speed doesn't guarantee success. Clarity does. The world measures pace. Wisdom measures direction. Our culture loves to celebrate the sprint, the youngest millionaire, the fastest growing company, the quickest transformation. But life isn't a race to the top. It's a journey toward alignment. The true measure of success is not how fast you move, but how intentionally you move toward what truly matters. You don't need to outpace others. You need to out-align your past self.
Show.
Slow progress in the right direction beats fast progress in the wrong one. Imagine two ships leaving the same harbor. One moves at 10 knots, but veers just 5 degrees off course. The other moves at 2 knots, but stays aimed directly at its destination. After days at sea, guess which ship ends up closer to where it wanted it to go? That's the power of direction. It doesn't matter how fast you're grinding if you're headed the wrong way. A slow step in the right direction is better than 100 fast ones toward the wrong goal. The danger of unquestioned pursuits. Many people wake up years later, exhausted and confused, asking, how did I get here? Why don't I feel fulfilled? They followed the plan, they hit the milestones, they climbed the ladder, but they never stopped to ask, is this even the mountain I want to climb? Speed makes it easy to avoid reflection. Busyness gives the illusion of importance. But if you never pause to ask where you're going, you might end up running fast off a cliff. You don't need more speed, you need a compass. Success isn't about acceleration, it's about alignment. A compass doesn't move you faster, it simply ensures you're moving in the right direction. You don't need more hustle, you need more clarity. You don't need more intensity, you need more intention. Before asking, how can I go faster, ask, where am I going? Why am I going there? What matters to me, really? Direction answers what speed cannot. You can redefine your path at any time. It doesn't matter how long you've been headed the wrong way. One honest decision today can realign your entire journey. You don't need to burn everything down. You don't need to quit your job or move to the mountains, but you do need to pause, reflect, recalibrate, ask, is this path aligned with my values? Am I building a life I actually want to live? Am I chasing what excites my soul or just what impresses others? It's never too late to choose a better direction. Stillness isn't laziness, it's wisdom. In a culture obsessed with doing, stillness can feel like failure, but stillness isn't inactivity, it's insight. The most powerful breakthroughs don't come during frantic activity, they come in quiet moments of honesty. Give yourself space to listen to your inner compass, not the pressure of expectations, not the noise of social comparison, not the urgency of the to-do list, but the quiet truth inside you that says, this is the way. You'll move faster once you're aligned. Ironically, once you align your direction, speed becomes effortless. You stop fighting friction. You stop second guessing. Every step feels lighter, every effort more focused. Alignment creates momentum. Suddenly your energy has purpose. Your effort has meaning. Your life has cohesion. Direction brings clarity. Clarity fuels conviction. Conviction accelerates everything. 5 practices to align your direction before you accelerate. 1. Revisit your definition of success. Is it yours, or did you inherit it from culture, family, or social media? Success must be personal to be meaningful. 2. Audit your current path. Look at where your daily actions are leading you. Are they aligned with your long-term vision, or just keeping you busy? Jada 3. Set directional goals, not just achievement goals. Instead of make X amount of money, ask, what kind of life do I want this income to support? Instead of get promoted, ask, is this path still aligned with who I'm becoming? 4. Create space for reflection. Block time every week. No phones, no noise, just you and your thoughts. Ask deeper questions. 5. Be willing to pivot. Real strength isn't in never changing direction. It's in having the courage to correct your course. Your life is not a race, it's a journey toward meaning. You don't need to sprint your way to burnout. You don't need to match someone else's speed. You just need to wake up every day and take one step, aligned, honest, intentional. Remember, a fast car heading the wrong way ends up lost. A steady traveler with a clear compass arrives fulfilled. In the end, the fastest way to go far is to aim well first. So pause. Ask yourself, where am I headed right now? Not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, relationally. And more importantly, is this direction taking me closer to who I truly want to become? Don't just run harder. Don't just move faster. Move truer, because direction is what turns motion into progress and progress into purpose. Speed is only useful if you're running in the right direction. Slow down, aim well, then go, all in. Chash 2.5, focus is a superpower. In a world of noise, learn to tune in. We live in the most connected era in human history, yet we are more distracted than ever. Our attention is pulled in 100 directions. Notifications ding, emails ping, news feeds scroll endlessly, and there's always one more thing vying for our focus. In a world that constantly screams for your attention, the ability to focus has become more than just useful, it has become a superpower. Your attention is your most valuable currency. Where you invest it determines what you create, who you become, and the life you build. The battle isn't about time, it's about focus. Many people believe they have a time problem, but more often, it's a focus problem. You can have 10 free hours in a day, but if your mind is scattered, distracted, overwhelmed, you'll waste them all. Meanwhile, someone with just 2 focused hours can move mountains. The real productivity isn't in doing more, it's in doing what matters without distraction. Focus turns minutes into progress. It turns practice into mastery. It turns presence into connection. Your life is the sum of what you've chosen to pay attention to. Think about it. Your career is shaped by the things you chose to learn. Your health is shaped by the choices you consistently make. Your relationships are shaped by the time and presence you invest. Every area of your life reflects the quality of your focus. And here's the hard truth. What you don't focus on fades. Dreams fade when you stop working on them. Skills fade when you stop practicing them. Relationships fade when you stop nurturing them. Focus is how you keep things alive. Distraction is how you slowly let them die. The world is loud. Your dreams are quiet. The world rewards those who are loud, fast, flashy. But your deepest work, the kind that fulfills you, grows you, defines you, rarely screams. It whispers, it waits, and it gets drowned out unless you consciously make space to listen. That's why focus is an act of self-respect. It says, this matters to me more than the noise. I'm willing to protect it. Distraction isn't just a tech problem, it's a life problem. Yes, our devices are engineered to hijack our brains. But distraction didn't start with smartphones. It starts with a lack of clarity. When you don't know what truly matters, everything becomes equally urgent. You scroll, switch, skim, jump, hoping that the next tab, post, or app will give you purpose. But the truth is, focus doesn't come from the outside in, it comes from the inside out. You don't need to fight distraction harder, you need to anchor yourself deeper. Focus requires elimination, not addition. You don't need a longer to-do list, you need a shorter must-do list. The key to focus isn't adding more effort, it's removing more noise. Say no to what's good so you can say yes to what's great. Stop multitasking. Start deep working. Clear the clutter, mentally, digitally, emotionally. Every yes is a no to something else. Choose wisely. How to reclaim your focus in a world that's fighting for it. Here are 6 practical strategies to sharpen your focus and protect what matters. 1. Identify your 1 to 3 non-negotiables. Each day ask, if I could only do 3 things today to move my life forward, what would they be? Then schedule those first. Not as extras, as essentials. Everything else is secondary. 2. Block time for deep work. Your best work doesn't happen in scattered moments. It happens in deep, focused flow. Choose a time each day to go deep. Phone off, distractions blocked, notifications silenced. Even just 60 to 90 minutes a day can change everything. 3. Create a no list. We often list what we should do, but we rarely list what we shouldn't do. Write down the things that constantly pull you off track. Social media scrolling, checking email every 10 minutes, saying yes to everything, comparing yourself online, then actively design your day to avoid them. 4. Train your brain like a muscle. Focus is not a trait you're born with, it's a skill you build. Start small. Set a timer for 25 minutes, Pomodoro method. Pick one task, do nothing else. Over time, your ability to focus will strengthen like any other muscle. 5. Choose environment over willpower. Willpower is limited. Environment is powerful. Want to focus better? Make it easy. Keep your phone in another room. Use apps that block distractions. Set up a workspace that supports clarity. Don't fight temptation. Design it out. 6. Reflect and refocus weekly. Once a week, ask, where did my attention go this week? Was it aligned with what I value? If not, adjust. Focus is not a one-time decision. It's a habit of returning again and again and again. Focus isn't just about productivity, it's about power. Every moment you focus, you reclaim power. Power over your mind, power over your time, power over your direction, power over your future. Because focus is how you say, this is who I am, this is what matters, this is where I'm going. In the end, the world doesn't need you to do everything. It needs you to do the right things, fully present. So pause. Ask yourself, what matters most to me right now? What distractions am I allowing to steal that? What will I commit to protecting, no matter what? Then do one thing at a time. Do it deeply. Do it with your whole heart. Because the person who can focus in a noisy world is the one who creates something worth listening to. Your future is shaped not by how much you do, but by what you choose to focus on. And focus, real, powerful, present focus, is a choice you can make today. Tax to 2.5, focus is a superpower. In a world of noise, learn to tune in. We live in the most connected era in human history, yet we are more distracted than ever. Our attention is pulled in 100 directions. Notifications ding, emails ping, news feeds scroll endlessly. And there's always one more thing vying for our focus. In a world that constantly screams for your attention, the ability to focus has become more than just useful. It has become a superpower. Your attention is your most valuable currency. Where you invest it determines what you create, who you become, and the life you build. The battle isn't about time, it's about focus. Many people believe they have a time problem, but more often it's a focus problem. You can have 10 free hours in a day, but if your mind is scattered, distracted, overwhelmed, you'll waste them all. Meanwhile, someone with just 2 focused hours can move mountains. The real productivity isn't in doing more, it's in doing what matters without distraction. Focus turns minutes into progress. It turns practice into mastery. It turns presence into connection. Your life is the sum of what you've chosen to pay attention to. Think about it. Your career is shaped by the things you chose to learn. Your health is shaped by the choices you consistently make. Your relationships are shaped by the time and presence you invest. Every area of your life reflects the quality of your focus. And here's the hard truth. What you don't focus on fades. Dreams fade when you stop working on them. Skills fade when you stop practicing them. Relationships fade when you stop nurturing them. Focus is how you keep things alive. Distraction is how you slowly let them die. The world is loud. Your dreams are quiet. The world rewards those who are loud, fast, flashy, but your deepest work, the kind that fulfills you, grows you, defines you, rarely screams. It whispers, it waits, and it gets drowned out unless you consciously make space to listen. That's why focus is an act of self-respect. It says, this matters to me more than the noise. I'm willing to protect it. Distraction isn't just a tech problem, it's a life problem. Yes, our devices are engineered to hijack our brains, but distraction didn't start with smartphones, it starts with a lack of clarity. When you don't know what truly matters, everything becomes equally urgent. You scroll, switch, skim, jump, hoping that the next tab, post, or app will give you purpose. But the truth is, focus doesn't come from the outside in, it comes from the inside out. You don't need to fight distraction harder. You need to anchor yourself deeper. Focus requires elimination, not addition. You don't need a longer to-do list. You need a shorter must-do list. The key to focus isn't adding more effort. It's removing more noise. Say no to what's good so you can say yes to what's great. Stop multitasking. Start deep working. Clear the clutter, mentally, digitally, emotionally. Every yes is a no to something else. Choose wisely. How to reclaim your focus in a world that's fighting for it. Here are 6 practical strategies to sharpen your focus and protect what matters. 1. Identify your 1 to 3 non-negotiables. Each day, ask, if I could only do 1 to 3 things today to move my life forward, what would they be? Then schedule those first, not as extras, as essentials. Everything else is secondary. 2. Block time for deep work. Your best work doesn't happen in scattered moments. It happens in deep, focused flow. Choose a time each day to go deep. Phone off, distractions blocked, notifications silenced. Even just 60 to 90 minutes a day can change everything. 3. Create a no list. We often list what we should do, but we rarely list what we shouldn't do. Write down the things that constantly pull you off track: social media scrolling, checking email every 10 minutes, saying yes to everything, comparing yourself online. Then actively design your day to avoid them. Train your brain like a muscle. Focus is not a trait you're born with, it's a skill you build. Start small. Set a timer for 25 minutes. Pomodoro method. Pick one task. Do nothing else. Over time, your ability to focus will strengthen like any other muscle. 5. Choose environment over willpower. Willpower is limited. Environment is powerful. Want to focus better? Make it easy. Keep your phone in another room. Use apps that block distractions. Set up a workspace that supports clarity. Don't fight temptation. Design it out. 6. Reflect and refocus. Weekly. Once a week, ask, where did my attention go this week? Was it aligned with what I value? If not, adjust. Focus is not a one-time decision. It's a habit of returning again and again and again. Focus isn't just about productivity, it's about power. Every moment you focus, you reclaim power. Power over your mind, power over your time, power over your direction, power over your future, because focus is how you say, this is who I am, this is what matters, this is where I'm going. In the end, the world doesn't need you to do everything. It needs you to do the right things, fully present. So pause. Ask yourself, what matters most to me right now? What distractions am I allowing to steal that? What will I commit to protecting, no matter what? Then do one thing at a time. Do it deeply. Do it with your whole heart. Because the person who can focus in a noisy world is the one who creates something worth listening to. Your future is shaped not by how much you do, but by what you choose to focus on. And focus, real, powerful, present focus, is a choice you can make today. 2-6 Progress over perfection. Build forward even if it's messy. Perfectionism is the enemy of progress. Winston Churchill. Let's be honest, we all want to do things well, to get it right, to launch only when we're ready, to avoid making mistakes, avoid being judged, avoid failing. So we wait, we prepare more, polish more, plan more, and without realizing it, we stall our own growth, not because we don't have enough, but because we're chasing an illusion, perfection. But here's the truth, you don't need to be perfect, you need to begin. Perfection sounds noble, but it's really just fear in disguise. Perfectionism often wears a mask of high standards, but behind the scenes it's usually just fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. We tell ourselves we're not ready, when in reality, we're scared. But what we forget is that nothing great was ever perfect at the start. The first iPhone was buggy. The first draft of every bestseller was messy. The first time anyone tried anything new, it was awkward. You can't improve something that doesn't exist, and you can't learn from what you never do. That is better than perfect. Want a simple principle to live by? Progress beats perfection, every time. A 70% effort that gets launched will always outperform a 100% idea that lives in your head. A rough version in the world is worth more than a flawless version stuck in planning. One honest try is more powerful than 100 untested dreams. The pursuit of perfection creates paralysis, but the pursuit of progress builds momentum. And momentum, not mastery, is what gets you to the next level. Growth lives in the messy middle. No breakthrough begins with confidence. It begins with courage to be messy, vulnerable, and imperfect. Think of a toddler learning to walk. They stumble, they fall, they try again. Nobody expects perfection. We celebrate the effort. But as adults, we forget this. We think we need to get it all right before we even begin. But growth doesn't work that way. You grow by doing, not by waiting to be ready. You become good by starting bad. You become skilled by first being clumsy. You become wise by first being naive. Perfection is a moving target. Progress is a clear path. Here's the trap. Even if you somehow reach perfection, the target moves. The market changes. people's expectations shift. Your definition of perfect evolves. You'll never feel like it's enough, and that constant striving will leave you exhausted, frustrated, and stuck. Progress, on the other hand, is simple. Am I better today than I was yesterday? Even 1% growth is growth. Even small steps compound into transformation. Real confidence comes from forward motion. Confidence isn't something you get before you act. It's something you earn by acting through motion, mistakes, and moments of resilience. You don't wait to feel confident to speak. You speak, and confidence comes. You don't wait to be confident before you try. You try, fall, rise, and that's how confidence is built. Action creates experience. Experience creates evidence. Evidence creates belief. That belief, that's real confidence, and it's forged, not found. You don't need to be ready. You need to be willing. The idea that you must feel ready before you act is one of the greatest myths of modern self-development. The truth? Nobody ever feels ready. The first step is always uncomfortable. The first launch is always imperfect. Bully hack. The first version is always flawed. But the only way to reach version 10 is to build version 1. You don't need more preparation. You need more permission to start messy. Progress is built through reps, not genius. Excellence is not a lightning strike, it's repetition. One draft, then another. One rep, then another. One honest try, then another. If you're willing to do version 1, you unlock the possibility of version 2. If you commit to building through action, not dreaming in your head, you make progress inevitable. Let go of perfect. Embrace in progress. Perfection is closed, stiff, unforgiving. Progress is open, flexible, free. Perfection says, I can't mess up. Progress says, every mistake teaches me something. Perfection wants applause. Progress just wants to grow. Perfection says, what if I fail? Progress asks, what can I learn? You can be a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. How to practice progress over perfection, starting today. Here are some practical shifts you can make now. 1. Set action goals, not just outcome goals. Don't just set a goal to write a book. Set a goal to write 500 words every morning. Don't just aim to get in shape. Aim to move my body 4 times a week. Action goals focus on motion, and motion creates momentum. 2. Celebrate imperfect wins. Finished a rough draft? Celebrate. Had an awkward but honest conversation? Celebrate. Tried something scary even if it didn't go perfectly? Celebrate. Don't wait until it's flawless to be proud. Be proud of the courage to do it anyway. 3. Lower the bar so you can raise it later. Give yourself permission to start small. Want to start meditating? Try 2 minutes. Want to start creating content? Publish 1 post a week, even if it's short. Once you're in motion, raising the bar is easy. Starting is the hard part, so make it easy. 4. Build publicly. Share honestly. Let people see your process. Share your journey. It's scary, but it's powerful. People don't connect with perfection, they connect with progress. They're inspired by your willingness to grow in real time, not your perfect highlight reel. 5. Ask better questions. Instead of asking, is this perfect? Ask, is this honest? Instead of, will people like this? Ask, did I grow by doing this? Shift your questions, and you'll shift your focus from fear to growth. In the end, your power is not in being flawless. It's in being fearless enough to begin. You don't need to impress, you need to progress. You don't need to get it all right, you need to take 1 step, then another. Let go of the pressure to be perfect. Progress is messy, growth is clumsy. But showing up anyway? That's brave, and that's where everything begins. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. You'll figure the rest out as you go. Just keep going.